What's up, YouTube? Back here with a brand new toy. Proper 2-stroke for the mixed gas haul ass channel. This thing is not stock at all. It was some sort of Chinese buggy at first. I think it was like a Baja DN 150 or something like that. And when I bought it, it already had a lot of work done to it. I did some work, and it also had like most of the main stuff done when I bought it. Like, it came stock with a 150cc 4-stroke engine, but the guy I bought it with put a 350cc 2-stroke engine in it. So this thing is a lot more powerful. It's a engine mounted on the rear swing arm. I got a jack shaft down there. That's one of the things I had to build and put in because original jack shaft was obliterated when you gave it too much throttle. It just twisted itself in half. Look at that. This was the old jack shaft. As you can tell over here. As you can see, a little bit bigger bearing, but the jack shaft itself much stronger. I think this is like 2/3 inch or something. This is like 1 inch. Much stronger. Had my roommate weld those on there. We bolted it to this 2 plates of metal that we cut out, and then we just, I can show you, welded that to the frame and put some metal bars as supports. A couple metal rectangular shaped bars. And then, yep, that's our reinforced jack shaft. Also forgot to show down here by the jack shaft. Had to weld right here too, because it was just kind of like wobbling because these bolts kept rattling themselves loose. So welded that also on the other side as well. It's been holding up pretty dang well. See here on supports. Let's see. This bad boy just completely deteriorated. It was a rubber engine mount, but yeah, we just welded a chunk of metal in there because it's got an engine mount here and one on bottom. And now that's pretty sturdy. Something else that broke was this. So I had to re-weld that, throw a new bolt in there as well. It holds itself together pretty well. Let's see here. I had to take the clutch cover off, the CVT, PVT, whatever it's called, because it was just rattling around. It was like mounted with one bolt right there, the whole thing. And it was kind of already cracked and split up to get on here somehow. And it was mounted nowhere on here, so I just kind of got rid of it. It was just causing too much problems and rattling. And then the gas line, it was a little bit clogged. It kind of wasn't getting too good of airflow, so we just drilled a hole in there, put that in there, and wired it through there. Kind of made this one a little bit longer. That one's for the oil reservoir because it is an oil injected 2-stroke, running that Klotz R50. The carburetor, so kind of doesn't need the wire, kind of just there more for safety because it's not really anything else mounting the car besides just the intake. And yeah, anyways, the carburetor, we had quite a bit of issues going on with this. Originally, when we got this buggy, it came with this carburetor on it, and this carburetor is supposed to have the stock one. Flip that around. Yeah, it was 2 very different sized carburetors. Yeah, so it was running pretty bad. Like, you could give it half throttle and that was like its full throttle. More than that, it just started choking the engine out and it'd kill it. And even full throttle, it was terrible. It was just running bad. So I bought a whole new carburetor, used the old one to rebuild it. Also bought a jet kit to rebuild it. It had the line for the drainage going and connecting to here, but yeah, it kind of snapped off with the CVT, and so I'm just gonna leave it like that so there's no lines getting in the way there. I also had to replace the electric starter that thing went out on me because I was just cranking it too much when I was having the carb problems. And well, it has a pull cable, but I snapped it and then bought a paracord and snapped that. So I'm just gonna leave it like this for now, because honestly, without the key, you could turn it on with the pull starter if you just have it on run with the key out and everything. So yeah, I mean, I'll just replace the electric starter. Maybe I'll replace the pull starter. I'll see. Maybe I can bypass that whole thing too. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but this is, I need like JB weld that or bolt it on there or something. This is rear light. It does work. This is choke cable for the carburetor. Yeah, it had a broken choke lever on the only used carburetor I could find for this 1993 used carburetor that they don't make anymore. And so I just kind of super glued a piece of chain to it. We'll probably mount it here somewhere, and then I could just use that as a choke. But yeah, it works for now, you know. And you know, besides that, just added this filter on. Kind of had to clean the carb a few times until this gas tank was a little bit cleaner. This throttle cable I'll have to replace. The suspension, when we were taking it off-roading, it bottomed out and it crammed the cable between here and the gas tank, as you can see right there. And it just crushed this. So now the throttle was sticking really hard. So what I did is I just added another spring in there. So now the throttle is no longer sticking, but there could still be dirt in there and stuff, and it could still stick. So that's just kind of sketchy. So I'll be throwing in another throttle cable, but it's just annoying because it goes from here and then splits out and goes also into the oil injection, which you have to take the whole pipe off and everything, and this line, which goes into here, which goes into here. So it get a little bit annoying. But anyways, well, I'll get into what I'm going to be doing with the suspension later though. Yeah, back to stuff that's been done to this. So the whole rear end has pretty much been chopped up, and the guy that we bought it from welded in this entire custom engine mount brace and welded in the radiator and all this pipe, the pipe bracketing and all that stuff. And yeah, I did a pretty good job. I mean, besides that one little clearance issue, which I will be fixing and addressing later. And then these razor seats, definitely not stock. That was put on it when I bought it. Although I did put on these 4-point harnesses because it had these bunk ass seat belts when I bought it. Like, they don't even work. They're all like, it just wouldn't work. Yeah, old starter. It was a bunk filter. Yeah, don't buy any filters like this off Amazon. Never good. Never any good. He also put this top mounted light on. It was on there when we bought it, as well as this whole interface, you know, obviously to get the engine running. And you know, all this stuff's mounted up pretty good. This is the shifter. This is the e-brake, although I need to change the rear brake pad because it is just, I don't know if you can see that, but it is completely worn down to where it's like, it's doing this basically. And it can't, this is where the disc goes. It's not doing anything good. Front brakes, they're working. I replaced a seal in here. It was the crankshaft seal, so it was leaking a little bit, making it run a little lean. It was idling too high and stuff, so it's running all good now though. Engine's running great. I replaced the spark plug, you know, just general maintenance. I still need to do the counterbalancer and gear oil fluid exchange, but it's running pretty good in the engine department. I mean, the buggy runs pretty good overall, just besides the whole suspension issue. I mean, I'll definitely be getting bigger wheels for it as well, and some adapters to do that. I've had to grease all these things. I have to continually grease this one if I want it to turn smooth, because there's supposed to be boots going over that, but they were just long gone eroded when I got this thing. Nothing's too bent up though, besides this right here. Got tagged by like a tractor arm or something by the guy I bought it from. Yeah, I mean, it runs pretty good. I'd say probably one of the bigger issues is out right there. jack shaft hangs a little low, so I'll be needing to put some bigger wheels on it. And then as for the suspension, I'll be dropping the swing arm down a little bit. I'll be throwing in, I believe it has 14.5-inch shocks right now. I'm gonna put, and they're really bad shocks too, I'm gonna put 15.75-inch air suspension shocks, and that should get a little bit more height out of it too, so these don't bang, and then also a little bit more travel and way overall smoother suspension just from it being air suspension. And on the front end, I saw on eBay you can buy these custom Predator front end front end Polaris Predator shocks. They're like these aftermarket custom ones, and they'll bolt right in place. I've been seeing other people do on YouTube, and that should get plenty of suspension and then plenty of travel between the wheels and suspension. And motor power wise, it'll definitely handle those, and needs it, because off-road, it seriously, you cannot go very fast with this thing how it is right now. And then eventually up here, I want to change it and add electric power steering. Maybe put that in there somewhere. And also, it's going to be, I mean, this would be a relatively easy engine to do a top end on, because it's a 2-stroke without a power valve. Like, that's pretty simple. You just take the head off and replace the piston. But it has this this differential just sitting right in the way, so I'll have to take this whole unit out, it looks like, so I can slide the head off maybe. I might be able to get around it. I don't know. We'll see when that comes in the future though. That's definitely one of the later plans though, because this engine is running great right now, has great compression. But yeah, around then, I'll probably be throwing in a Weisico piston, some V-Force reeds, and then maybe even go to the AEN website and get a pipe or some of those toys, their clutch kit, whatever they got. Yeah, down here, one of the springs came off while we were driving, and we just kind of made it back to where we were and had a welder on us, so we just put a tack right there, and it ended up breaking again. But then just found this random spring and threw it around there, wrapped it around, put it there, and it's been holding up pretty solid. Haven't had to add any more springs yet. And the thing about the wheels is I don't actually quite 100% know the bolt pattern. I think I've seen some people on YouTube say what it is, but I think I'm just gonna drive this to the discount tire across the street from me. I have them measure it, and I'll just know for sure exactly what adapters I'll need to be ordering. Probably try to find any more weak points, weld them or rebuild them, and time to start the DMV process so I can get this thing registered and titled. Overall, not bad. And I got a lot of plans for her in the future. I'll keep you guys updated. Probably add some stereo too. Add a couple speakers hanging from right here, whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll give you guys a ride now. All right, GoPro mode switched on. Something else I forgot to mention is we had a petcock right here, but it was not a 1/4 inch. It was like 3 or 4/16 inch, and it was not flowing enough fuel. So that's why that's there, if you're wondering. We're gonna replace it with a petcock eventually. All right. Love the smell of that cloths. Hopefully the seatbelt harness doesn't get in the way of the GoPro too badly. There we go. Oh yeah, put the e-brake down. plenty of power, just not enough suspension. Alrighty, we're in the neighborhoods now. Don't want to pull a Vaseline builds. No clue what this switch does. I know these two activate. This one activate the two lights. This one, I thought it was the fan, but it seems to be doing nothing. Yeah, I don't think that switch does anything. Anyways, there you have it. The two-stroke dune buggy. Well, you're still watching. Enjoy some CR250 clips. Please be first kick. Oh my God! Actually first kick from a cold start.